Right, welcome you back to Kansas City into the booth, and we are joined by Brad Hill, the new coach of the Emporia State baseball team, joining us upstairs. So happy to have him here with us, and I know, Jackson, you're excited. Yeah, we'll lend him the headset here. What's it like to be here? It's exciting, an exciting time for you, and we're happy to have you.
Great. I'm excited to be here, obviously back in my roots at Emporia State, and obviously back in this area. So obviously I was in Manhattan for a while. I've been in Lawrence, and now going back to where I got to play college baseball, got my degree, and a lot of great memories.
Well, Fredo Jimenez hits this one in the air to right field. Moving to his left is Justin Wiley, and he makes the catch out there down on the ball field for out number one in the top half of inning number 5. But what memories come back to you when you had that? I know you've had the chance to head back before, but when you come back as a head coach to your alma mater, what went through your mind? What went through your head?
Well, I think first of all is about the success and the friendships. You have a lot of friendships, teammates, and then you talk about the success we had at Emporia State through the baseball program. And obviously I was there during the Dave Bingham era, and they won a national championship in '78 and 82. We just missed going to the College World Series. In '84 we went to the College World Series and finished 5th. So a lot of success, and then obviously that kind of propelled me into my career as a college baseball coach, played a little professional ball, and then went right into college coaching. And like I said, but the thing you just remember about Emporia is just all the memories of whether it was going to classes, remember some classes, or maybe some instructors that you really don't want to remember, but you seem to remember them the most. I have a couple of those, that's for sure, but then just the great times you had with your teammates. We obviously all bonded and had great memories, whether it was playing or just different things that you did socially that we probably won't talk about. But like I said, it was just one of the most important times of your life. And I try to encourage kids, when you start talking about professional baseball or going to college baseball, those kids that sign professionally without going to college are sure missing out on a lot of memories and friendships that they will never get to have.
And it's special to think about those days. I mean, what was the hardest class that you took at Emporia State?
Exercise, physiology of exercise with Dr. Pat McSwegan. That was quick, right? I remembered that really quick.
You really did pull that out immediately.
Quickly. I sat front row, tried to ask questions, tried to do all the things you're supposed to do to get on the good side of an instructor. And it was all I could do. And I remember there was a track girl. Her name was Nancy Gray. She married a football player there. It's not Gray now. But she pretty much carried me through that class. I mean, it was tough. It was a tough class.
Well, Emporia State, a really big school and for education, for teachers. A lot of teachers go there. But your degree back in the day, I'm of course going to be sports or business related.
Oh, yeah. It was coaching. PE, coaching. So
worked out really well.
It worked out pretty well. That's what I was going to do. I tried to go into the social science route. Really loved geography. I had a great instructor there. Did pretty good in history. Government kicked my butt, and that's when once I hit a 400 level in government, I was gone. Parents weren't real happy about 24 wasted hours in being in that social science degree area, but I went over, jumped in, and got my PE degree, and thank goodness I basically became a coach. I knew that was the direction I was going to go.
Was there a moment where you knew, was there a time where you had that realization that this is what you wanted to do, that this was your calling?
I knew it pretty early. My dad is in the Kansas Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame. My brother played basketball at Southwestern and actually played baseball at Emporia State and was a GA at Emporia State. Both of them got their masters at Emporia State, and just sports was in my blood. Like I said, I just couldn't see myself being in an office every day. It's just not really what I want to do. I love to be around baseball, love being around players, and coaching was just in my blood.
You hit it right on the head there, Coach. We'll go over your coaching history and your track record. It's been phenomenal. If fans don't know, you have a career record of 880 wins to 463 losses. You do have 3 ties on your record. But that's good for almost 70% of games that you've been able to win. Have coached at Hutchinson Community College. Of course, Central Missouri. We have a mule on our roster right now. He's a really great pitcher for us. But also KU, K-State, and then fresh off the gig at Northwestern, and now being able to coach at your alma mater. You've been around, and you've done some great things everywhere you've gone.
Yeah, well, I've been very blessed because, again, it's about who you have around you. So obviously, I've had great coaches. number one. They were outstanding. You look at my coaching tree right now, where some of my assistant coaches are. It's pretty amazing. I was very fortunate to have these guys that were on my staff. When you start talking about a coach that just took the job at Alabama, he was at Maryland. Have an assistant coach at Ole Miss, and have a head coach at La Tech, have a head coach at Virginia Tech. A lot of coaches out there, head coach. Matter of fact, the coach of Southeast Missouri just took a kid I was recruiting, so I'm going to have to give him a call and see what the heck is going on about that. So he just got a guy that we were recruiting. But, again, just been really blessed, a lot of good coaches. Then it's all about players. We've had some phenomenal players that fit into the system of what we're trying to do. They handled me somehow. They were able to handle the work ethic and the workload I put them through. They bought in. And, like I said, we just had a good run, and it's more about the people that you surround yourself with than obviously it is yourself.
Talking with Brad Hill, the new coach at Emporia State for baseball, and a swing and a miss from Zinn as Jalen Miller trying to work around back-to-back walks and missed fifth inning. Is there any through line that you can see that is there on every great baseball team that you've had when you're talking about the personnel and the players? I mean, what in your mind is the key to building a championship team? What do you see in your best teams year after year?
I've always been about work ethic. This is about trying to outwork people, trying to develop a mentality where toughness is obviously in there. You got that mental and physical part of being tough. And it's buy-in. I mean, you want guys that will buy in to coming into the facilities outside of the hours that we're there practicing and putting in their time, believing in the weight room. Understanding that 15, 20 pounds is critical to them, being a better performer, to them staying healthier, and being able to perform longer in the season. So there's a lot of things that go into having a good team. And then obviously also leadership. You need some guys that are willing to back the coach and stand there and support the coach and understand where he's coming from. So I think obviously you throw some leadership in there as well.
Well, Coach, you talk about all these factors that play into building a team. A lot of that also leads to recruiting, too. We talk about recruiting. We didn't know if we were going to get you tonight because we heard that you were out recruiting, but you're in a great area for it. Emporia, right down the road here from Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. You got some current guys on your new team at Emporia State that are from the area, but a great area to recruit out here. Talk about a little bit of the things that you're looking for in your next few years here at Emporia State. Some guys that you might like, some needs that you might need on the team right now.
Yeah, well, it's always going to be, you always try to build yourself through the middle of the field. So you're going to go catch shortstop, center field, and pitching. I mean, those are always the places you're going to start looking and try to build your team off of that. I think for me, obviously, talent is important, but more importantly, it may be winners. Who are guys that used to winning, who are guys that winning is extremely important to them. And then obviously you look for the guys that play hard. If you look for the guys that are leaders on the field, guys that aren't scared to communicate, guys that aren't scared to fail. When they do have failure, like I said, there's some competitive factor there, but you also don't see them quit. They're able to come back and maybe have a next at bat's very good, or the next hitter pitching wise is really good. So there's a lot of factors you look for. It's just something that for me, I've always had a pretty good eye for trying to find guys to build our teams with, and those are kind of things we look for.
Well, we'll be back with more with Brad Hill in just a moment. It's 1-0 Explorers here on AABaseball.tv.
Kansas City has the most passionate sports fans in the country. We take pride in our city and in our hometown. Kansas City is the home of America's largest all-sports radio station and media company. Locally owned and operated. Sports Radio 810 WHB. The power of sports.
The Kansas City Monarchs and Legends Field are the place for your next group outing. Or whether your group is large or small, low-key or hardcore, we have the perfect option for you. You can find one of the best views anywhere at Legends Field at our special home run patio. That's beyond the left field wall here at Legends Field. And if you're okay with ducking a few home run balls that the Monarchs are hitting out over your heads out there, it's a great place to catch a game. This is, again, a beyond the left field wall here at Legends Field. There are high top tables and chairs. You get access to that lovely ballpark buffet and beverages with alcohol and soda sold separately. This is great for a group as low as 20 people, but really you can hold up to 150 people if you rent out this whole space. There's a lot of room out there. You can have a heck of a party and a heck of a gathering at our home run patio. That price is $35 per person.
It's funny, but I can see him keeping you on your toes too.
All right, welcome you back to Kansas City. Carter Woodeel, Jackson Webb, and Brad Hill, head baseball coach at Emporia State University. So happy to have him in the booth with us today as we head to inning number 5. Adolfo will lead things off for the Monarchs, and it's truly at the start of a new era for Emporia State baseball and for Emporia State athletics. I mean, some new blood in the administration as well, and I know it's a really exciting time for you. When you look ahead into the future of the athletic program, the baseball program, and the university, what's getting you excited right now at Emporia State?
Well, I think it's just a vision. The President Hush, played tennis there, and just he has a vision of athletics. Athletics being a draw to students to come to Emporia State. And obviously, we have great academics. I mean, obviously one of the best education schools with teachers, and then we have obviously business, nursing. There's a lot of great programs at Emporia State, but kids love going to athletic events. They love seeing success. They like football teams that win. They like basketball teams that win. And that's a big draw for kids to come to your college. It's not just to get an education, but it is also to take part and be a part of excitement in the athletic program. And I think right now, David Spafford, the new athletic director, and President Hush, their vision is to really grow the athletic department, and in turn, we're going to grow the university. And I think for me, that's what got me so excited. And I was about to jump through, the hoops, whatever it's going to take to get to be the baseball coach again at Emporia State, because, again, they made a real easy decision for me.
Well, they hired a perfect guy when it comes to knowing how to win and how to do it at the highest level. I mean, we talk about you, a native of Galva, Kansas. You gotta tell us how big Galva, Kansas is for the people that don't know. First off,
500 people in Galva, probably give or take a couple here or there. So then we combined with Canton. Yep, so it was closer to 1,000 people. They did have 2 water towers, hot and cold, so somehow they drink a lot of water over in Canton. I don't know what it is about using a lot of water over there, but we combined, unified, really had really good athletic programs, honestly. I mean, we were state runners-up in football my senior year, finished the top 3 in basketball, but it was really small. But, again, I was fortunate to have a brother that was a very good baseball player, was a baseball coach. He told Coach Bingham, hey, you need to go watch my brother play. Funny story, he came to watch me pitch. My brother was trying to tell him I was going to be a pitcher. I hit 3 people. Well, I walked 3, hit a guy in the head, and they pulled me. And so I thought my opportunity to play in Emporia State was over. What I didn't realize is I went 4 for 4 that night, and Coach Bingham brought my family up to eat at Ramada Inn that's no longer there anymore. And we're having dinner, and I'm like, man, Coach, I can't believe you have me here. I was not good pitching. He goes, no, you weren't. But I'm not recruiting you as a pitcher. I'm recruiting you as a hitter now because you went 4 for 4 and you have a nice left-handed swing. So that's how I ended up at Emporia State.
Well, things work out. This might be the last question we get to, as this game is moving on at a rapid pace. But we'll go down the list of all your accomplishments. There's a long list, so I had to cut it short just a little bit because you really piled it on here. But 7-time Coach of the Year in the MIAA, won a national championship and brought it to Warrensburg for the Mules in 2003, as well as the D2 Coach of the Year award that same year. 17 titles between regular season and MIAA tournament at UCM when you were there, and then also as a player played at Emporia State, set a lot of records as a Hornet, and also drafted by the Rangers in 1984, made it to AA throughout the minor league system. Out of this giant list of accomplishments, as we get a nice base hit there to hopefully bring around and score.
Men at the corners for Kansas City here with 2 away.
But out of that long list of accomplishments, is there anything that you really hold closest near and dear to your heart? I know it's a long list to choose from, but is there one that sits at the top?
It is. It's really tough. And obviously, I'd like to thank my 94 or 2000. I'm sorry, I weighed my dating 84 team that went to that College World Series, because in '83 we weren't very good. We were 500. And again, I was in Tucson this last week because again we had so many Tucson kids came up. Big fundraiser down there for the Rich All Day Memorial Scholarship. But that team, being able to go to the World Series in '84. But another one again, as I think about that pretty special team was that KU team. And again, there's got three every 10 years it seemed like something good was happening for me. But that '93 team, even at Kansas. I mean, Kansas has never won anything in baseball. It's all basketball. In basketball, yes. Baseball, nothing. And we lost our first game. First time we ever made a regional. We lose the first game, and then we rattle off 4 consecutive wins against some pretty big powerhouses to go to the College World Series in '93. And there's some key Kansas kids that made that thing happen. But that was a pretty amazing accomplishment for me, even though I can't take away the Big 12 championship and obviously the national championship at Central Missouri.
Well, thank you so much, Brad Hill, for taking some time out of your busy schedule and interrupting the recruiting trip and coming out here on a great day.
I'll be back out there tomorrow.
The head coach of Emporia State baseball. Thank you so much for joining us. It is still 1-0 after the ground out from Broxton.